Hey guys, welcome to Love Letters to Blizzard Part 2.
We'll need a lot
And
more
unfortunately,
Marines before we
Rainer's
take
going
on
to talk
the
to me
main
here.
outpost. Train them up at the barracks. While we're at it,
More
extra SCVs will help us
SCVs. I wish I had
harvest
control
minerals
of this,
faster.
but
Train
unfortunately
'em up
I
at the command
don't.
center.
So I just gonna have to bear with me, and I don't have any way to mute that or make that softer either. So I'm just gonna have to talk over when that comes around. Apologies. But anyway, the first map there was an emphasis on micromanagement. This map, the second level of Starcraft 2, they're really focusing on how awesome having a ton of units is, or macromanagement, which is what Rainer was saying right there at the beginning. Hey, build a ton of Marines, build a ton of SCVs. And talk about that, I got to talk about supply and base efficiency, but at the end, hopefully we'll get to soft counters and hard counters, which I feel like is the meat of this and where it's a bit entertaining. I almost feel like this is the laziest level. They're just trying to get you out of the pattern of too much micromanagement, I think. So first off the bat, you can see that I have 19 out of 19 in the upper right-hand corner, and that is bad. That means I am not building Marines and I cannot build SCVs because my supply is full. So the number on the right is my supply available, which is dependent on the number of command centers and supply depots I have. Granted, I could build another command center, but it would take a long time to build it, so it's just more economically efficient to build these little supply depots, which that's what Starcraft is about, is economic efficiency. And as you can see, as soon as it finishes, 21 out of 27. And I can continue building Marines and SCVs, which I'm going to do. Speaking of economic efficiency, generally you can have 3 SCVs on mineral patch mining and they'll still mine, but when you're talking about optimum efficiency, especially when you're not planning on expanding, which I'm not on this map, I don't think there's another base available aside from my enemy's base, which in theory I could take, but that would be silly because I'm supposed to destroy them. But generally you want 2 SCVs per mineral patch, and anything beyond that you want to start transferring to new expansions. So a little bit of a battle up here that I can show you guys. Notice that they're pretty hefty compared to my Marines just because they had slight upgrades there. And I think that's because I'm playing on Brutal. Anyway, so yeah, 2 SCVs per mineral patch on almost all of the StarCraft 2 maps, and the single player map, I don't know how many single player maps actually have this, so I won't comment on that. But you'll see there are 8 mineral patches, and Blizzard is wonderful to set up, hey, 8 SCVs per line. So I know when I have 2 lines of SCVs, I've more or less got the efficiency I'm looking for. So I'm actually just going to pump out 4 more SCVs, and I'll probably want 3 more. So 2 mineral patches, so 2 SCVs per mineral patch, also 3 SCVs on a refinery is maximum efficiency. And I'm going to continue to build Marines in the meantime until I can get some gas to build medics. And another way to think of minerals here is also to think of, hey, 2 mineral patches means I can, and 4 SCVs mining off of it, means I can constantly pump Marines out of a single barracks. So, and again, that was a really noob StarCraft mistake there. Didn't keep up with my supply. I will build some supply depots really fast to rectify that problem. And maybe mine some gas in the meantime. And you can see it halted once again. But essentially, because I have 8 divided by 2, 4 mineral patches worth of barracks, I guess is one way you could think of it. I'm going to just pump out of 4 barracks, and they also kind of laid out some minerals just out in the field to help with the mineral count, which screws up my excellent macro, where you see my minerals will stay very low. My gas will get very high because I'm not going to be pumping a lot of medics and whatnot. But anyway, that's just basic base management. I hope that illuminates a little bit. Granted, when you're talking about bigger units, you're not going to have the 2 mineral patch ratios. For example, siege tanks, you're going to need more minerals, things like that. Oh no, they're attacking the rebel base to the southwest.
That'll keep the Dominion off our backs.
See, build some more medics
Those
there.
folks need our help, Titus. There's
But
no
anyway,
way
you can
we're
see,
leaving them to rot.
am I at maximum efficiency? I'm 1 SCV off, so building it there. And you can see as I build Marines, my mineral count stays actually very, very low, and that's actually what I'm after. It's going to kind of screw up here because I'm grabbing this right there. And the more of that I grab, the more it'll probably screw up. Let me gather my units together. But that's what I want. I want to keep my mineral count low, and that means I'm maintaining a degree of economic efficiency, which means is if I'm more efficient than my opponent, odds are I'm going to win the match, particularly if I'm out-microing him. But again, this is not really micro-on-micro fights. There, you can see kind of the engagements. I'm usually going to have more troops than they are, which is to show that macro wins. I mean, 3 Marines, doesn't matter how well you macro them, against this many Marines on the opposite end, you're going to get crushed. Particularly when you have medics in the formula as well. So, going to run up, and this is just going to have a ton of those little talk boxes. I'll try to push through them quickly here. So no.
You guys sure are a welcome sight.
Isn't that a cool little car, though?
Just tell us where you want us.
I've actually had to
Welcome
restart
aboard,
this a
boys.
couple times because of this particular section here. Ooh, and another
Kick the
barracks.
Dominion's ass.
Yeah!
Rainer's the man.
but it reminds me of those.
It's Rainer's boys.
Oops. Need to pay attention
Dominion
to my
can go
armor.
to hell.
These guys are just kind of running in. Actually, probably should think about supply depots again. I'm just gonna have this guy build a ton of supply depots, so I don't have to worry about it in the rest of the commentary. Yeah, don't have enough minerals, which is not the most. It's not the best way to do it, but because I had kind of those outlying whatnots, I'm just not gonna worry about it. Little outlying mineral things. I love that car though. I do want to comment on that. It actually changes colors every single time. A little spinny sign too. There's Toshi's. Anyway, moving on. Now we're gonna see, and hopefully this works out timing-wise. We're gonna see soft counters versus hard counters. So I'm pulling off a smaller group of Marines.
Bad guys are that
talking
way.
at me. A smaller group of Marines to show you how well Hellions do. And let's see if the Hellions come up solo.
Warning. Dominion Hellions
No.
approaching.
So I'm actually going to try to lead the Hellions over here and engage them. So you can see Hellions are much better than Marines one-on-one. That was almost, I know that wasn't a perfect number, but that was more, and you can see how actually Hellions are doing pretty well against the Marines even there. I've really lapsed on my macro management.
Go get him!
Go get him. Hellions are kind of a soft counter to Marines, and what usually a soft counter is it's in relation again to hard counters. And really the way to think of it is almost in raw numbers, really.
Nice job cleaning out that bunker,
Pound for
Jimmy.
pound, a Hellion
Yo, boys,
will beat a
my
Marine.
skills.
A Hellion...
We are gonna go a
Come on,
long
Tychus.
way
Finish
together.
talking. Thank you. Pound for pound, a Hellion will beat a Marine. If I was going up one-on-one there, not focus firing the Marine or the Hellion comparatively, the Hellion might win. It is a soft counter. If I'm going up against an opponent and we have the same economy, and he is pumping Hellions and I am pumping nothing but Marines, the odds are he's probably going to win because Hellions soft counter Marines. But as I get a critical mass of Marines, Hellions get less and less efficient. As you can see there, a single Hellion wandering up to a large group of Marines, they get crushed. And other people give you different definitions of hard counter versus soft counter, but really that's what I would say. Basically a soft counter, you have an advantage. A hard counter, you have an overwhelming advantage with kind of units and troops right there. And even then you can see the Hellion, how much damage they did. And it doesn't make a difference because I have the medics mixed in there. But anyway, now I'm going to show you a hard counter. And a hard counter to infantry is a siege tank. And I'm going to purposely not micro it well to emphasize, but watch how many Marines I lose in this engagement. Attack that again first. Attack some other stuff. So there, yeah, I didn't micromanage that well. But even if I did, I was going to end up losing Marines there. And you can see I'm already down to a single control group, and look how many of those guys are red. That is a hard counter. More or less a hard counter, you are getting extreme efficiency out of your units comparatively. Usually, when you think about it, extreme efficiency in that regard, you can think about Banshees versus Siege Tanks, things like that. And when you're talking about a one-on-one high-level Starcraft match, what you'll see players do is try to hard counter each other and force each other into kind of deceptive situations, like build a lot of Marines to get them to go Zealot, and then once they're Zealot, pull out a lot of Banshees. And what are Zealots going to do against Banshees? Nothing. Things like that. Basically try to lead each other into hard counters and soft counter situations. So, and there's a little bit more talking. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I almost feel like this is, I was 2 minutes off. Maybe I'll try it again, make sure I get the 10-minute thing. Again, I feel like this is the laziest level of all the StarCraft 2 stuff, but I still feel like it was essential. And I know it probably wasn't as entertaining as the first, but hopefully the next ones will be a little bit more entertaining and have a little bit more focus. But still very StarCraft basics. Base management, macro management wins matches. You can see I just out-macroed my opponent, which is, or I guess the computer, which is why I won. And also keep in mind, look for soft counters and hard counters, which I'll kind of show you as they kind of come up throughout the game, throughout this, I guess, thing. But nevertheless, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.